was just telling people why I decided to do this call, because I'm tired of getting blocked for asking questions. And I ask a question of the so-called hostess or host or whatever you want to call it on my private audio, I think, or my private call or something one night, and I figured we'd start out with that for a topic of discussion and see where it goes. I asked her a question, and she blocked one question. First question I asked all night, I says, Angela, could you be a hypocrite?
I'm sure she liked that.
Well, people ask me all kinds of stuff like that. In fact, they don't even ask me. They tell me what they think I am. You know? I'm asking for evidence here. And before that, it was a week ago. I'm going to play a little audio clip here if I can find it. And on the night she blocked me other time, and I just wondering, is it me? Am I really that much of an asshole, which is a good possibility?
No, you know what it is. People are 5 years old, and they're told never to ask any more questions, and they'd have to deal with that if they ever went over to where you're at.
Well, maybe the problem is I never grew up. Maybe that's why I ask so many questions.
Maybe you just figured out how to unlearn all the BS that you got imprinted with.
Well, it's been an experience realizing going from a know-it-all to a dumbass. What can I tell you? And people call me smart-ass, and that really confuses me.
I went into the telephone company, and I told her, I said, am I qualified to read that contract? I think it's written in legalese, and I didn't have any law courses when I was in school. Did you?
Yeah. Here, let's see here. I'm gonna play this audio for the audience here, and I want, I'd like their honest opinion. Was I being an asshole? Probably was.
I'll put it on mute.
Oh, where is it? Oh, there it is. Okay, let me play this. It's only long. It's under 2 minutes, just barely. Let me play it.
Okay, we've got Batman. Hi, Batman. Did you have a question for Kurt?
Greetings.
Hey, Batman.
Hey, I'm confused here.
Okay.
Yeah. You tell me we're the problem, but then you're always telling somebody else. You're telling us that somebody else is the problem. Can you help me?
I say that we're the problem because we're the ones that actually make all of this ugliness possible by our willing participation in a system that is not for us. Let me explain that. When you register to vote, okay, let's back up just a second. The Declaration of Independence says that government.
What evidence do you have that I registered to vote? And even if I did, could you prove I registered to vote? But anyway, go ahead.
Hello, DK. I've noticed.
Hello.
Hello, Batman. Oh, I think he got another call coming in. I think he's.
Hey, I'm here. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay.
Okay, here I go. The Declaration says that governments are instituted by the consent of the governed.
The Declaration says that? That you have first-hand knowledge of that? Said it right to your face, huh?
You know, if you're going to not listen to what I'm going to say, there's no reason for us to have a conversation.
Well, I'm trying to get a meeting of the minds here. I'm asking.
No, you're not.
Wait a minute. You're telling me something says something, and I'm asking.
Okay, Batman. You always have to escalate like that and get angry, and I just don't. I'm not in the mood. I'm sorry. I love you, but we've got a lot of people waiting in line to ask a question. You're browbeating my guest, and I'm not going to allow that to happen.
Okay. Any comments on that?
Yeah, you browbeat him pretty good there.
I did, huh?
you took out the sock with the coal in it. You just whopped him upside the head, I'm sure. I'm being sarcastic.
I wasn't listening, but I asked him a question I thought was on point. I was confused.
That's true. You know, a lot of I got this guy he was talking to me about appointing the judge as a trustee, which seemed kind of like an adversarial or an aggressive move in my part, you know, to get him thrown off the bench. And he kept opening his explanation with why he was doing this with, we elected these people. And I said, wait a second, I didn't elect anybody.
Well, yeah, what evidence do you have I elected anybody? What's this we shit? You come out of your pocket?
Yeah, who's this we?
But he's telling me the Declaration says. Well, I have yet to hear it say anything.
Well, I understand he's probably trying to convey the idea that it's written on there a certain way, but the point is you didn't sign it. It's not your document.
You know, who cares? It's just paper, man. Paper with black ink. Unless you make an interpretation, it means something to somebody. What is it? I mean, you know, unless you know how to read the symbols that are put on that paper, what good is it to anyone?
A lot of it has to do with the interpreter, the one reading it.
Yeah, and then the thing of it is, how does it apply to you? All it comes down to is whether, I think it's as simple as getting rid of this idea that there is such a thing as a so-called government. And remember, everybody we're dealing with is our brothers and sisters. And deal with them honorably and ask questions. But heck, how can you deal with a 5-year-old that knows everything when you ask him a question and he starts, you know, throwing a tantrum?
Well, what if there is a government and we're the government? I mean, each of us, you know, we're supposed to self-govern, and if we don't do that, well.
Exactly. Boy, there's one guest in there, 13, really some heavy shit out there. Too bad. Call in, vent. You can vent on this show. You can even call me a dumbass loser. He's got shit in the chat here. Constitutional man or dumbass loser. He's got Angela Stark he's writing about.
Was he typing stuff in? I'm not in the chat, so I can't see it.
Fake ass is open stupid. I mean, everybody's entitled to an opinion. Here, I try not to block anybody unless they just won't give me a chance to talk, and then I'll mute them. But I usually let them back in. In fact, I have every time so far. I mean, call in, people.
I've lost my patience with these people that say, we elected these people, and that's how they start their whole diatribe, and then I stop them right there, and then when they start back up again, they say the same thing again. We elected these people, meaning the judge or something, you know.
Well, I did this call as another thing. It's Angela's alleged call starts right now, too. So I want to if it goes good, I might start doing this every Thursday night. But nobody's calling in, so.
That's all right. I can't stand that. I questioned her once when she's going to have David Clarence on there, who even, you know, I'd gotten actual, like you asked, like, what first-hand knowledge do I have? I'd emailed the guy.
It don't take much. Just ask questions, and then they get all pissed off and start yelling.
Yeah, and then so I was like, this guy's a real nutter. I mean, you're going to have him on your show, and he's got some kind of issues. I don't know what they are, but you're going to have him. I mean, people respect they respect you somewhat, you know. So why are you doing that? And then after that, she's like, oh my God, I can't believe I had him on my show.
Yeah.
Like, well.
He blocks me. I mean.
I tried to be your friend. You know, I tried to give you some I did give you some information, you know, like caution against that, but you totally just ignored me and said to me, well, I don't do any of this paperwork stuff.
We got a new one. I guess 13 put in there. Yeah, what's this we shit? You speaking French? That's a good one.
Yeah, oui. Oui.
But I learned, you know, that's why I play the audio and saying it's self-explanatory. You guys make the decision, you know. Like I try to tell people, why accuse people of anything? They do fine on their own. I think people just got to get over themselves and learn to start asking questions until you truly understand. It's assuming what other people mean. I mean, that's where we're getting in trouble. I think one of our biggest problems.
All the time. So. Professional at that.
Class is on his way to prison and waiting for his day in court. He could be. He seems to want to be with them people, and he thinks he knows so much about them. It could be right where he belongs.
Who's
I
this
give
on
up.
his way to prison?
Rod Class, somebody wrote in there.
Is he actually physically journeying towards a detention facility at this moment, or is he just saying that like a turn of speech?
The way he goes in there, in my opinion, he's in dishonor. It just depends on the judge. The one case he's got is a small case. They tried to get rid of it, and he wouldn't let it go. See where it gets him. Moochu, you heavy breathing on there? Or we got East Tennessee. Hello, East Tennessee. Speak up anytime you like.
Well, I'll mute my mic for a second. You can see whether the breathing goes away, but I don't think it's me.
All right. I didn't notice. Or exactly. You don't need to mute. It's all right. Whatever. It stopped anyway. But yeah. Yeah, I believe he is at war. I think I notified Boris I was having this call. I wish he'd get on here. And another meeting with the forensic officer, but I'd rather save that for a talk show. If he wants to talk about it, let him talk about it. But it sounds like he's doing pretty good. And with no paperwork. Only the paperwork they supply.
Well, I had to open this thing with the phone company. Speaking of their contract, is I had to open this thing with the lady at the desk at the phone company office because they kept cutting off my internet for 5 minutes every day. In fact, while we're on the call, if I disappear for some reason for like 5 or 10 minutes, it's because that connection went down. And yeah, it says somewhere in the contract, and I said it could say in there that I have to bring you flowers every week, but is that
what a contract? Who's it apply to?
Well, yeah, what was the agreement between the parties? Somebody here offered me, some real living conscious soul offered me the option of taking a service, of so many megabits or whatever, 24 hours, 7 days a week, and paying so much in funds for the service. And I said, okay, I'll take that service. I don't care what's in the contract really, because it's not part of the agreement between the people that were actually here at the time.
Well, think of it. The agreement with who? Who do you have an agreement with?
You asking me?
Yeah, let's go to the basics.
Or are you just asking that rhetorically?
Well, agreement with the company there, the so-called phone company.
No, I have an agreement with whoever the living conscious, not with the corporate, fiction contract side, but with the living man or woman I spoke with that made me an offer, and I said, okay, yeah, I'll take that.
We got that, but here's what I'm trying to get at. Everything is a natural resource. Hey. I lose you?
I'm listening.
I believe everything is a natural resource. All right? Now, once you authorize it to be turned on, who is authorized to turn it off?
Yeah, they're not authorized. They're not trying to turn it off or anything. They're just, they're shutting it off once a day. I guess that's all.
Well, maybe they're having difficulties,
Well, it's funny. That's like their highest speed service, and it's the only one they. And I checked it out with the people that make the equipment, and they said, no, it's definitely the telephone company side. They're definitely deliberately, turning this off exactly every 24 hours, like on the dot. So.
Did you ask them why?
Yeah, I thought it could be a technical reason too, and I basically, just said, hey, I want to open a trouble ticket, and I want, now that I've spoken with you, the lady at the office, and I walked in there, I got a shared consciousness thing going, I said, just keep this thing open, don't let them close it just because they say, well, it says in the contract that, Maybe they get that.
That's impossible. I believe there's a mistake. I don't recall that in the contract. Fix it. Could you fix it?
Case in point is I'm not even really qualified to read it, even if it was in my native language.
Well, the thing of it is, if it is or whatever, it makes them happy. Doesn't matter. The thing of it is.
I think what they want me to do, and not consciously. It's not like they're trying to You know, it's just part of the whole process that people go through. You know, it's the imprinting or whatever. But they're trying to get me to go from a living agreement between, you know, two living conscious minds to get me to traverse into this realm of, you know, dead pieces of paper, you know, with symbols on them.
They need that to keep track of shit. That's all it's for. It's for accounting and for
For accounting purposes. I love that reason. It's for accounting purposes. Why do you have that? It's for accounting purposes.
Well, you know, they only got so many resources at hand, and they want to keep track of where they're going. Because when they find if nobody's there, why waste the water? As one would say, they'll shut it
No,
off.
I have no problem with that. That's the accounting in the computer. It's this long legalistic piece of paper that they're trying to get me to swear to. You know, it's like people swearing to the Constitution. Where was I when that was signed? You know.
Well, yeah. Well,
I didn't get a chance to write it.
It's the contract is really irrelevant.
That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah.
To me, it is.
Yeah, right. Because we're alive. We're not dead.
Inconvenience. I believe it's an inconvenience. I believe there's a mistake somewhere, and there any way keep it continuous. That's all. Ask them. Try
well,
that.
It's not like they want to shut it off permanently. They just want to shut it off for 5 minutes a day. For some stupid reason. It's buried in some technical reason probably.
Whatever. Maybe it's something they need. Whatever. But if it's antiquated, ask them. If it's antiquated, and you could do something about it. Have you asked them?
No. This is all. That's the thing. This is all premium equipment. This is a fairly deliberate.
Like what you're doing. You believe it's deliberate. Have you asked the question? Could you be assuming?
No, I mean I've asked people. I've already asked. I've talked to multiple technicians that are like senior technicians and stuff on both sides of the fence, both with the telephone company and the equipment manufacturer and stuff. I've already like to find out.
Did you ask the ones in charge if they could make it so? If like Captain Picard says on the Enterprise, could you make it so?
Sometimes that's the issue, though, is trying to...
Slow down. Now, come on. Let me finish here. Could you please make it so? I wish to have continuous internet without interruption. Is that possible? First thing I need to know.
Yeah, it's a good question, but you have to find the ones in charge that can make that adjustment. That's the whole thing.
Go for it. Work your way up the ladder if it's that
important
to you.
Man. It takes
Instead of sitting around about it.
I opened this up 2 weeks ago. It's going to take another month and a half at least.
Whatever. Life's of an adventure, man. See where you can go with it. It's good training.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. I just.
How can it?
Already on it.
A question here. I wish you guys would call in, man. We'd have a discussion here. I like some of this stuff you're talking about.
I think they're scared that you're going to ask them questions.
I go here and there.
It's true, though.
But how can a company legally garnish wages? The paper's dropped off at work.
Well, a corporation can legally do anything it wants. That's the definition of legal.
Bullshit. Legal doesn't do anything unless you consent. Nobody does anything. Well,
but that's two different things now. The legally doing something and doing something. It's like legal is a qualification.
Your tacit response is committing to it. That's all it really comes down to. And if you ask the right questions, you'll find out. They'll settle the matter. There's an issue here, and it got through somehow because you didn't ask the questions. That's what usually happens. If you ask the questions, I put you 10 to 1. It would have never garnished
most people stop asking questions.
Yeah. Any recourse. Yeah, what I would do in the matter is I'd find out who was responsible for it, I believe, or I'd be asking them, I believe there's a mistake, and how can we straighten this matter out? To that extent, keep it simple.
It's almost like the magic word, you know. Like
ask questions, and how can I help you? The matter is we own nothing, but we can use everything. Well, garnishing wages, would you care? Nothing. What if they raise taxes? How would you pay a tax if you own nothing? I believe Boris is on the path to get on that side of owning nothing, and the government, the accountants, the government, the old schoolmaster sees that. And now heaven is going to be on earth for him. He's going to have access to everything he needs as long as he's in honor. And probably anything he wants, too, as long as he's in honor. I believe it's there for everybody. We just got to grow the fuck up, man. We got to stop disowning shit. We got to stop arguing, stop trying to tell people what we think and assuming what we're doing, and sit back and ask the questions. See? And act the age. Act your age. Go in there and truly love your brothers and sisters and want the best for everybody. And do you think maybe that might come back to you? The best for everybody, the best will come back to you? See? That's the way I look at it. Seems to work for me anyway. Because I tell you, this little county here I live in, people have been known to disappear doing the shit I was doing in it. And once I got it straight, they couldn't treat me nicer. Something to consider. Yeah. Come on, 13. Do I know you? Looks like you're reading my mind here and there. Fortune 8888. Alrighty. 888 there. You got something to say? Jump right in here.
Hey, Batman, how are you?
Good, good. I just want to say, I just want to say something to the people on the chat board. Not that it matters that much to me, but why are people calling people names?
I know. That's what I was asking. It doesn't make sense.
Maybe they've been used to listen to all the other talk shoes because I've noticed, if I heard correctly, they like to do that. They like to call judges and lawyers and all them guys criminals and crooks.
See, all they're doing is doing it to themselves, so they don't realize that the judges are them in person,
Yeah, well,
in the mirror.
Well, I just want, the thing of it is, people fail to realize, if you ask me, that they're the ones bringing a claim before the court, and then they get pissed off at the judge for doing the right thing. You claim the name, you just gave the judge a jurisdiction and brought a claim before the court. What's the problem? That's all it takes, you ask me.
Mm-hmm.
And if people could get that through their minds, everything else would fall in place. All them laws and statutes are ambiguous. They're there for people who want to live under them, who want to fight, who like to argue. They give them plenty of shit to argue about. Heck, volumes and volumes of it to discuss. And really, it's so simple, it's pathetic. But I didn't mean to interrupt you there.
No, you're quite right. That's exactly how it is. However, it seems that whatever happens to us, it is only because of what we have created to happen. So if we can go in peace and love, knowing full well that everything is perfectly fine, there will be no issues. I am quite sure of that.
It's worked for me.
Yes, and you're talking from your first-hand experience.
Yeah, that's all I can do.
That's a high level of who's the guy that's talking?
Me.
Okay, well, me. That's a high level. I would just call you me. That's fine. That's a high. This is Muchu. That's a real high level of experience. Like specifically talking to your point about people realizing that they're the ones, passing judgment and all that kind of stuff. That's responsible for their own creation and destruction. This is the whole thing about religion is pretending that the one responsible for their creation and destruction is somehow some deity floating in a cloud somewhere, or some pitchfork guy underneath the ground. It's like let's stop trying to claim limited liability and let's just accept that we're the ones creating and destroying all the time. And if we're not accepting that that's happening because of what we're doing, then we're it's like divorcing ourselves from the responsibility of accepting, trying to blame it on something else.
Yeah, unfortunately, we're all, or fortunately, we're all at a different level in our own experience, and until we experience it, we will not see it in the way that everybody else sees it, or as Batman sees it, for example. But until we experience it. So the best thing is, the most beautiful thing is to be able to listen to somebody who is trying to tell us something. That is, transformation in a sense.
That's a very interesting point, because it takes an awful lot of a receptive quality in order to be able to do.
Yeah, I believe that the biggest problem in all of us, or I'm talking from my own experience, is that we don't listen.
Yeah.
Exactly, that's a big problem. And the thing of it is, we need to go back to before we were 5 years old. Come as a little child.
Absolutely.
Why is it this way, Mommy? Why is it this way, Daddy?
Yeah, and then we all end up laughing because there is no further to go, right?
Yeah.
Mom starts laughing because she can't really tell you anything more.
Yeah.
It only becomes like a big game, and that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, I believe if you stay in honor and love, forget this so-called thing called government, utility companies, all this stuff. Deal with the man or woman on the other end there with honor, love, and respect, and they'll bend over backwards to try to find a way to solve the problem.
That's what I was doing when I was at the telephone office most recently, dealing with that issue. That's exactly what I was totally, like, to me, the whole infrastructure didn't even exist to me. It was me and this other.
Yeah, we lose
the other one. The other one could be us. But, it's like we're dealing with ourselves.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
we're starting to get some echoes here. So
yeah, I suppose I have to log off the chat.
On the call, I don't want to mute anybody unless you'd like me to, or if you're not speaking, mute yourself. Other non-member and yeah. I'm going to mute. Well, *8 if you want to call in. Oh, there you go. That
did it.
A friend of mine, Paulo from Portugal, just
and it's hard to do, man, to deal with others with unconditional love. I mean, I know I can't even do it with myself. So, but at least
there's a lot of self-forgiveness that has to go on.
At least give it an effort. People will see that. And I believe it'll come back for you. It's really that simple. Like I say, reasons I didn't have talk shoes as regular is because I believe if you listen to all the calls we had, I believe there's little bits all through them there. Basically, just gets down to the basics of what it's all about. And we could kick this around for eternity, but it gets a little redundant. But if people want to call in and ask questions, we'll see where it goes. Maybe I'll schedule one. Maybe I'll do them once a week. People want to call in and ask questions, and I'd be glad to have any of them gurus, if they're out there listening, to jump in here and educate me. I really like to, learn. Like I say, what the fuck do I know? Maybe I'm totally wrong here. Maybe you guys can show me where I'm messed up. Okay. Yeah, it's *8 to mute your phone if you need to. It's *8 to unmute it, if I believe I got that right. No, *8 is not mute your phone. It's *6 to mute your phone. I'm sorry. *8 will you can *8 to be unblocked if I blocked you. There, Fortune 88, you just muted. There. All right. But yeah. Come on, people. Talk. You got an issue? Going to court? House?
Hello?
Hello? There you go. Go ahead.
Hey, Bob.
Greetings.
Yeah, it's Dennis here. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, it's your the floor is yours if I had permission to give it away.
Oh, I'm hearing myself. All right. Thanks a lot.
You got a headset on, or you got speakers?
Yeah, I got a headset going. That's why I don't understand.
Maybe it might take a minute to adjust, but go ahead.
I had gone down to the IRS for a state issue, and dropped them off a little notice because the guy I needed to speak to wasn't there. And I told them, I believe there's a mistake in the matter of the name, the account number, such and such, and then brought up the, will and intent of the legislature thing with the certified copy of the birth certificate.
Yeah. And how'd that go for you?
Not good. The notice, well, who knows, but the notice I got back that I had handwritten, I asked him, you have any evidence to the contrary? And he just wrote a big fat yes on the bottom of the page and sent everything back.
Well, when can we talk about it? That's what I'd ask next. When can we get together on this? I'd like to hear your end of the story here. He answered you, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm figuring. I'll just go back down and visit with him again. Oh, yeah, he did,
Fine. And if he starts saying, well, this has got to be done, or you're telling me, what's it about anyway? Or, just a rough idea. Not that it matters all that much, but.
Rough idea. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm having a hard time tracking the call because I'm getting like a double loop for everything.
Huh.
Yeah, I'm not hearing that. Maybe turn down your headphone volume a little bit. I've had a headset one time where I got a feedback loop on it just because the the speakers on the headset were turned
too
up
close to the mic.
high.
Yeah.
Or turn down your mic, one of the two. Turn down.
I guess it's possible. I tried to dial down the gain and everything.
Could be. We're getting an echo. You might be get an echo from somebody else out here.
Yeah, I'm not hearing any echo on my end. So he sounds clear. So.
I hear a slight echo now and then, but I'm not sure where it's coming from.
Yeah, it's not exactly an echo. It's more like a 3-second delay. Like.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you a question. Are you also in the chat?
Well, I'm sorry?
Are you also in the chat? Do you have the talk?
Oh, yeah, I'm on the chat here, too, yeah.
See, that's where your audio feed is coming in. If you didn't put a PIN number in when you set up your talkshoe account, then it doesn't know that you dialed in separate from the chat. It doesn't associate the two. That's what the PIN number, what happens is if you dial in with the PIN number, then it goes, okay, let's see. I'm streaming the audio to you, but now you're dialed in, so I'm going to stop streaming the audio to you. So it actually shuts off the audio stream. That's why you're getting a 3-second delay. If you just go into the chat and choose to stop the audio feed, then that'll stop that.
Yeah.
All right, I'm just going to jump out of this and sign back in with a PIN, and I'll be back.
All righty.
I got to create a PIN, actually.
Yeah, you just have to put in your account. Yeah, there's space for it in the account settings.
Or that way, or just come in as a non-member. Or no, did you turn the volume all the way down on the computer?
I think he's using.
Yeah, I've got my mic gain way down, and.
I mean the computer volume. You turn it.
The computer's it's coming all through the headset. It shouldn't be getting to the mic.
But if the computer.
I'll try that.
If the computer is making any noise whatsoever, it will cause a problem.
Yeah, it's not coming through them speakers because I got the headset in.
All right. Then you might have a conflict within there somewhere. You're getting a loop, I'd say. Because what happens is, when you're on the chat, there is a delay from listening on the chat board to directly calling in. If you ever notice, well, I got two computers. Sometimes I'm listening to two calls two different ways, and one will be delayed, and one will be catching up with the other if I'm listening to the same call at the same time. And what's happening, if you're on a different feed than using the pin, you'll get a delay like that. Alrighty?
All right, I shut down the chat. Maybe that'll be a little bit better.
Well, you'll know in a minute.
I believe I know it's better.
There you go. So, where was we then?
Oh, okay, yeah, the issue, it's for almost $19,000 in so-called back taxes.
Cool. How
Yeah.
can I help? How can I help you?
Yeah, that's what I asked last, but I'm going to have to go ask this guy himself because apparently, again, he wasn't there when the guy I needed to speak to.
Yeah.
But,
answer him. Yes, he can't prove anything unless you witness. I mean, my opinion on it.
I laughed my ass off at the big fat yes, it was funny.
Yeah. Are you ready to give first-hand testimony before everybody on that issue?
Yeah, if that's really where they want to go with it, I guess it'll go there, but we'll see.
I'd say you just want to give them everything you can to help. If they need the name, social security number, whatever, think of it as
right.
You're only using it. How can I help you settle this matter? When you start claiming ownership, that's when these guys come to arms, man. I think you'll find out if you go away or they'll settle it. But as long as you're laying claim, well, they got to do their job. They got to settle the controversy one way or the other. And if you claim ownership, you're going to get the tax for the war.
Oh, yeah, I firmly believe that. But at least they mailed the birth certificate back. So I
wouldn't have went all that route unless they needed it. But
yeah, well, like I say, I got the so-called notice to lien, levy, garnish. So I went down before the 15 days was up, to speak with them and get some FaceTime. And like I said, the guy wasn't there. I asked them if I could help, if these documents could help, anything they need, they could get in touch with me, and I'd be happy to help them.
And they didn't garnish or do anything yet, did they?
No, there is, though, part of that total amount of almost $19,000, there's something like, I don't know, $6,000 lien on the place I use.
But they'll clear that up.
Already. Yeah, yeah.
They'll clear that up. I think if you stay on point, they'll settle it. They can zero the account once they realize that, there's no claim on it.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out is who to speak to clear up the status of the name,
But just work up the ladder. The main thing I look at it is they're led to believe somehow that you claim something.
Right.
And all I want to do is find out what evidence you had that I claimed anything, and if so, how can I help you settle this matter?
Yeah.
Stay on point with it.
Well, it was funny. The guy that I spoke to initially says, asked me when I last worked. I says, well, what evidence do you have that I've ever worked?
Right.
And he didn't even get upset or anything. He says, oh, well, then what do you want? I don't understand. I can't. I says, hey, I just come down to see if I could help you gentlemen settle the matter,
There's a controversy concerning the name and laying liens on stuff. And the thing of it is, where's the controversy? Who's creating it here? That's what I want to find out.
Yeah, who's laying a claim on the name?
The thing of it, right? Where's the controversy concerning the name? I believe that's why there's attention. You guys are bringing attention to this matter.
Right.
See? And they're going to know by the way you act with them. Hey, this guy didn't claim ownership. When they find you're not claiming ownership, I think you're going to find them they'll settle it. You just got, you got to be careful. Stop acting like a spoiled brat.
Yeah. That's a work in progress.
Yeah.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Greetings.
Hey.
What do we got here?
Yeah, this is my first time calling. I discovered Batman about a week and a half ago, and I've been going through all the archives. Pure genius, I must say.
And next time I see Batman, I'll tell him.
You had mentioned looking for people to call in, and I'm quote-unquote guest 11 on here, and I had an issue here regarding defaulting loans and how to handle situations like that. I'm kind of a novice to this, and I'm still learning the terminology. There's just so much to go through when it comes to this, it seems. Do you have any direction to maybe go for somebody like that?
Well, you got a loan company coming after you, right?
Yeah, that's correct. A collection agency.
It appears to you they're coming after you. Actually, they laid a claim on a name, and they want to see if you're fool enough to argue with them. Okay. Right now, if you ask me, they got the hot potato, and what I've done and helped people, well, I haven't really done it myself, but I helped a few people with it. It's a simple little letter. I'll be glad to meet with you in the matter of the name. You know? What I used to send them was a little letter. Please produce all documents in the proper known and described as, and I put the name down. Are you the damaged party? Are you a party to the action? You know? And when can we talk about this? And usually something like that was enough. I used to throw in all the UCC and all that crap too. I don't bother with that anymore. And I just ask them that and see where it goes. Because now where's the claim on the name? You responded. How can I help you settle this matter? And I bet you do it right and stay on point. The last thing they'll do is want to go to court. The last one I did was for my boy, for I don't know, about $3,000. He got in this issue. In fact, he even helped him get out of probation. He was on probation. They wanted him to pay $45 a month plus the fines, which was about $3,000. I went down there with him. By the time he was done, he never went back to probation again. They did turn it over to a collection agency, and a collection agency sent us a bill. Well, would appear to send us a bill for like the fines, which I thought was funny, and we just sent it back to him. Are you the damaged party? You're party to the action, blah, 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 and never heard from him again. He worked at this place. They never tried to garnish his wages or anything, so-called wages. It went away. And it's worked with other people. I've helped with it, too. The thing of it is, you got to keep staying on point with them. You got to make sure they know if they go to court, they're going to have to answer them questions. And they're just working for a corporation. How is a corporation going to come in there and give first-hand testimony that anyone owes anything?
Right. It says, we can notify your employer to initiate garnishment on your wages. Well, that's just a notice of initiation, right? That's just them saying, hey, do this. It seems like they're trying to order them to do something when they don't have any standing to do the order, right?
Well, it's all smoke and mirrors. If you go silent, they'll do it. The thing of it is, if you answer them, they fine. But first, should we straighten this out before you go going to do this? And besides,
so when they're saying, I'm reading here from the paper, it says to avoid the department reporting this loan to the credit bureaus as in default, you have 60 days from this date of this letter to repay this loan in full, make satisfactory arrangements to repay and actually make the first payment under this arrangement, or to request an administrative review. So you're saying ask questions and have them, I guess, review the process?
Well, the thing of it is, whoever wrote the letter, they give you a name there?
This is the National Payment Center for the U.S. Department of Education. It's a student loan.
Yeah, they give you the name there? Who's
Dwight Vinya. There's a signature here at the bottom, a printed signature.
Yeah, I'd reply to that in a matter of the name. What's the issue here? Because they can zero all that. They'll zero it if you do it right. They're just going after the people who believe they own something. It's simple. Keep it simple. It's you know. I studied all that, a lot of the UCC and all that happy horse shit, man. The main thing is, this guy here works for a corporation, which is an illusion. Like I asked the judge, it really dawned on me. I asked the judge one day in court, what's the difference between the state of Tennessee and the Good Tooth Fairy? He sat back in his big old chair there, that he was using and threw his hands in the air. He didn't answer it. That told me there is no difference.
Go ahead and put the state on the stand. Good luck with that.
Yeah, so the issue here is this guy's just working for what he believes to be real. The point of the matter is, where's he going to get somebody to go in there and give first-hand testimony that anyone owns or owes anything? The only way they get any evidence that you owe anything is if you say something like, I don't owe that, or you know, I'm not paying it, or I can't afford it, or this or that. Well, then they're going to go about
making statements.
Yeah. But you say, okay, fine, show me the evidence. I want first-hand testimony from somebody here that, you know, knows what's going on. You think the corporation, you're going to get that on the witness stand? He's just a representative of it. Are you telling me he's going to put his ass on the line for Mickey Mouse over there? I don't think so.
And his hearsay testimony.
All that other shit is just smoke and mirrors to get you all upset and nervous. Well, see which way you go, you know. Kick you off the fence one way or the other.
Yeah, I feel that. You know, my mom says don't give them a red cent, and I dealt with these guys before.
How could you?
Wait a minute. It's not. Don't give them a red cent. It says I'd love to pay you. Tell me how I can pay you, and tell me who I owe, and how I can pay you. And you want to agree with these? Agree with your adversary quickly. I'd be glad to, but impossibility of the law is not required. And once you realize that we own nothing, we're just using it, how can I give away something I don't own? If I got something you need and I don't need it, well, here it is, take it. But that's not what they're out for. The revenue, they're revenuing. They're taking from the greedy people who claim ownership and putting it out there for people to use. They're modern-day Robin Hoods. That's all they're doing. Revenue services, man. Revenue. They're Robin Hood. Think about it. They're keeping the money in circulation. Everybody gets pissed off because the bank got the $10 billion bailout or whatever it was. The thing of it is, got all these greedy bastards out there hoarding these useless Federal Reserve notes when they're supposed to be out there in circulation for people to use. So what are you supposed to do? You don't give the bank more. The people are screaming for more to use. You don't give them more to use. You're a bad guy. You give them more to use. Well, you didn't give it to us. Well, it goes through them to get to you. You morons, wake up.
Yeah, I think they're a little upset that I put them Federal Reserve notes back into circulation before they did.
Whatever. The thing of it is, if you do it right, they won't touch them. They're not out there to take from you what you're using. They're just going after those that are claiming ownership. That's my opinion on it. I think it's that simple, if you can wrap your mind around it. They're
That's
going
what I'm
after,
working on. Trying to wrap my brain around this stuff. It's like I almost get it, but it just gets to a point where it seems like I'm grasping for something that's just, I don't consider myself stupid, but I'm kind of new to this stuff.
I'll tell you what helps me, or the biggest thing that helped me realizing I don't own anything, is the money's all debt. You never really paid for anything. And then you're running around saying, I own this. I bought that. Like, really?
What's your perspective on it? It's people who believe they got more than Federal Reserve notes than somebody else most of them believe they're better off than other people. They're above their brother. They're debt collectors, you see. Whereas the people that just use it for commerce so people get what they need and can enjoy life are just using it. You know, it's all paid for. I don't know if that helps you think about it anymore, but it's like being one side of the cross or not. Allegedly, Christ said, you got a choice. It's all paid for, or you can pay for it yourself. You know, the two thieves on the cross, allegedly, with him. Which side of the cross you want to be on? See? I lose you guys?
I'm with you.
Yes.
No, I'm still here.
Batman, can I... Good night to all. First of all, what do you think the next step of the con game will be?
The con game or card game? What did you call it?
Con game regarding the whole restructuring of the money system.
Oh, it's no con con game. It's giving the people what they want. The people are conning themselves, if you ask me. It depends on what the people want. I hate to say it, but if the scriptures are anything true, 2/3 of them are going to claim ownership and kill each other off. I mean, the ones that want, the ones that want to stay in honor, they'll be all right. They're not. Love everybody. I've been watching old movies, old war movies and stuff, and I noticed in them, people that claim to be neutral, the so-called government, officers in the armies and whatnot, honor them and treat them honorably. I saw one with Christian Bale in it. He crashed on the wrong. Well, he crashed, I think, in Vietnam or something. And they asked him, if you claim to be neutral, you'll be out of here in 2 weeks, more or less. But no, I'm a United States citizen, and blah blah blah. Well, they locked his ass up in a concentration camp. He claimed a side, but they asked him, which is it? And then an old black and white one, they called her High Pockets. She was a spy with Japan. But one little issue came up. She got before a Japanese officer. It was in an occupied area, and she said she was neutral to him. He bent over backwards for her, got her the papers she needed to open a business and everything. It's in the movies. It's all around us. That make any sense to you guys? And girls, if there's any out there?
Yes.
Sure. Yeah.
You get in a neutral mode, man, and truly, you're there to help. I'm here to help both sides, if they're harmed and need something. But as far as help them to hurt anybody, well, what evidence do you have that I want to hurt anybody, you see?
Yeah, well, isn't that the whole meaning behind honorable is the best for everybody all the time?
Yeah, best. But, some people, they help them get what they want, if you can. But in general, I find helping people get what they want doesn't help them. Let them figure out what they need. And what they want becomes a bonus. And then they'll enjoy it more.
Yeah, a lot of people lead me to believe they got the wants and the needs all screwed up.
Yeah. Well, I still do. What do we
Oh,
really
sure.
do?
I don't claim to be above all of it.
Yeah. I find at first, when I first started getting on these talk shoes, I used to get pretty upset. But now, the more and more I learn, and the more I believe I'm changing anyway, the more I laugh and have fun with it, It's like bringing up what happened on the Start call, just for instance. It's something to discuss. But the thing of it is, maybe others will hear, and maybe they can do better, maybe get across to people and people listen to them. Because I already got a reputation with most of these people. They just don't want to talk to me. Well, I'm led to believe that anyway. Stay on point and do it out of love and kindness. Because I got cut off. I don't know if you heard when I started the call, I played that little part on Angela's call. I don't know. I thought I was pretty even keeled. Did you hear it?
What was that, the last one where you got cut off in record time?
Yeah. Yeah, that was a record, I believe. Then I was...
even for you.
Yeah. Badgering I forget. Browbeating, that's what she said. Browbeating her guest. Yeah, that's what I was doing.
Is that what they're calling it these days?
I guess. Yeah.
Well, I had a conversation with a gentleman one night last week, and I started asking him all just questions. It's mostly what I try to do anymore when I get into conversations with people. And I don't know, by about the 6th or 7th question, he accused me of trying to start an argument. Led me to believe he was upset and refused to talk to me anymore.
Excuse me, baby.
Yeah.
Or what I do to piss you off this time, baby? Yeah, it don't take much sometimes. And then see,
no, it doesn't.
well, I shouldn't say the only reason, but one of the reasons, oh yeah, not the only reason, but one of the reasons I did this call too was all I tapped in the chat was last week, I believe, on Angela's call was I asked, Angela, could you be a hypocrite? And she blocked me from the chat for just asking a little question like that. I said,
yeah, I find most people, when you ask them such a question, it seems to them that you're accusing them, you know.
Well, in a sense, it's a little rude, but the point of it is you can ask me that all day long. I got an answer. I got another question. What leads you to believe that? Was it something I said? Please define it. Let's go over it. I could be, you know. I could very well be a hypocrite. Let's talk about it. What's the problem? See?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I know I used to do the same thing. I'd assume what someone meant right away, you know?
Yeah.
And I still do it occasionally. Trick is catching yourself.
Oh, I do it too, man. It's a hard one to beat when you've been doing it your whole life. Forced medicine is a medical mafia. It's not forced medicine. Everybody consents to it. Believe me.
Yeah, well, it's forced. I don't go to them guys.
Even when I was in jail, man, they wanted to give me something. I just told the doctor, I told the doctor one time, and I told the nurse another time. I said, if you touch me, I'll hold you personally liable. That's all I said to him. Looked at the cop. I can't touch him if he don't want this. It was, you know. I wouldn't touch him.
I didn't know about any of this. When I went, I let them give me the whatever so-called TB test.
Yeah, that's was one of them. Yeah, that's all I said. And now I might say it. I just might say to the doctor, "Are you prepared to accept full liability for your actions?" Maybe just ask them a question instead of telling them.
Yeah, even though it wasn't a question, there was an episode of Malcolm in the Middle where no one would listen to the kid and they were going to operate on the wrong part of him, and he finally figured out to write it on his chest. If you touch me, I will sue you and own this hospital and your house, yada, yada. His whole notice of what he was going to do to them, and they would not touch him.
Yep. They need your consent. You know? It's like when my daughter got in a bad wreck, and I mean, she was bad, near life and death. But I went into the hospital, man, and this nurse wanted me to sign for her. I said, how can I sign for her? Can I talk to her, see what she wants? And boy, she started getting pissy with me. We got to do something with her. You know, what am I supposed to do here? You know?
Yeah.
And, but they finally handled it. They passed it together pretty good. UT, I got to hand it to them doctors. Some of them, they know how to put people back together. But as far as keep them healthy, I'd stay the fuck away from them.
Yeah, I was actually just going to say, if it's some kind of trauma, gunshot wound, whatever, get me to an American hospital. But if you're talking about internal medicine and not getting sick in the first place, I don't want nothing to do with half of these guys, you know?
Yeah, I hear that.
That's what I'm led to believe anyway. Well, yeah, they will patch you up.
Yep, they're good at it. I got to tell you, she was broken up pretty bad. Well, at least she's walking around now and stuff.
That's a plus.
You guys hearing me okay?
Yeah. I'm all right. Anyone else?
We got a few people calling in and stuff. Maybe I will schedule one for next week. Just to say, hey, see how it goes. If people want to bring up other people's so-called procedures, and people like to claim their process. I got this yours, and I discovered this and that. Well, I'd love to. Because I know where everything, when it all dawned to me, where what helped me realize what was going on, was it's simply right out of the scriptures, the so-called Bible. Not the Christian one. It's the Bible. That Bible, I believe, never claimed to be a Christian one. What's that, Don? Sorry. Somebody trying to talk there? Breaking up. I was telling him where it basically came from when it all dawned on me.
Sorry to interrupt. Regarding the England riots, they are related to that issue.
Breaking up real bad there.
Yeah, bro, I'm sorry. I can't even hear you. Like, you're real chopped up.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Well, what I was just going to if you mind, can you hold that question and let me finish what I was trying to say here?
Absolutely. You're the boss.
Okay, thanks. Well, yes and no.
Evidence you have it.
The thing of it is, when it all dawned on me is from the studies I had in the Scripture in the New Testament, how Christ handled the courts, and how he handled the so-called lawyers and everybody. He asked them questions. And it works fine till you went mute, and he showed you how not to do it, too. I mean, that's where I got it from. It all dawned on me. That's how simple it is. If you're under the rule, I call it rule to separate it from the law. The one rule is to love everybody and everything, want the best for everybody. I believe that's to simplify it. Other than that, we got a whole bunch of law for you to go through. Anyway, now you said that, go ahead, if you like.
Yeah, we're not all born knowing this knowledge. How did you guys begin to wrap your head around this stuff? What was the beginning as far as gaining this knowledge base and how to deal with these guys?
Wait a minute. Well, experience for one, but go back. What do you mean we didn't know all this? Tell me something. When you were like 2, 3 years old, 4 years old, I bet you did this process perfectly. Why, Mommy? Why are there clouds in the sky? Why, Daddy? Why do you got to get a license? Blah, blah, blah. We knew it. We just got stupid. We started thinking instead of realizing what we didn't know, we started saying, hey, we know something. Could that be?
That could very well be, yeah. You had mentioned in other calls to treat them like your little brother or sister.
Well, no, I treat them like your brothers and sisters. In fact, like your big brothers and sisters. To me, they know it all. I want to know what it takes to make everybody happy, and the only way you're going to find that out is by asking the right questions. See?
Yeah, how could I purport to know how they handle things or need things to be handled?
Yeah, what evidence you have? I'm competent to settle government affairs. If I said anything on behalf of that name, would I be meddling?
Yep, I believe I know of someone who had the name declared incompetent and is quite unrecoverable. And it's quite happy with that.
Yeah, when she was on the call. Yeah. He talked with me.
I know. I think he left the Skype group today. I spoke to him last week. He told me about that conversation.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Yep.
Although I tell you, you know what? I think I'm going to go down and find the nearest U.S. Marshal's office and take the stuff down like I heard about the one guy in the call, though I hear you never heard from him again.
Yeah.
And see, I mean, I don't see there could be any harm in it, you know? They might laugh at me or look at me a little funny, but whatever, you know?
Yeah. Well, and the matter
see what happens.
Well, and the matter of the name.
Yeah.
See, I just haven't done it yet. And who knows if I ever will. But I believe I got the assistant DA in this county I believe I could talk to on this matter. And, excuse me, and that one judge there that I asked if he knew what the state of, the difference between the
the Appalachia guy.
Yeah, the hired gun, he came in there, man. I was so close to it. He knew it, too, man. But, I consented. I got what I asked for. I got to hand it to him. But I learned, I live and learn.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to do is learn now, It's all, it's all I could do. Got to go out and get that first-hand knowledge, start doing some of this stuff here.
Yeah. Hey, I guess 13. I saw this question here. You wrote, "You lead me to believe you can't ask a proper question." Now, why would you say that? How can you prove a negative? The point of the matter is, could you do you believe you're asking the proper question? See, just switch it around, get that negative out of there, something like that. It's hard to do. Yeah. You know, like there's a proper question is like, well, who's got claim on the name? Or you're going to say to tell the judge, hey, judge, where's your jurisdiction? See? That's like asking the judge if he beat his wife this morning before he left for work. I mean, or when's the last time you beat your wife? The thing is, if you walked in there and claimed a name, you just gave the judge jurisdiction. That's where he's already
brought the
got
controversy.
Right there. That's it. I'd say it's that simple. Until somebody proves otherwise, I believe I'm going to stick with that. And then the matter is, where's the controversy? That's why if you can talk to the prosecutor and stuff beforehand, it's good to do that. See, maybe he'll just drop it and it'll all go away. If he don't, well, gee, Judge, there's a controversy concerning me, concerning this name here. And I tried to discuss it with this gentleman over here, but we got nowhere. So I guess, if he wants to claim the name, who am I to argue? Would it be right to give him the bill?
To me, just hitting him with it in court, man, that's like sneaking up on your brother, and scaring him. Like, why would you do that,
Try to settle it before you go to court if you can.
Because I hear they can get damaged if it goes down the wrong way in open court.
Yeah, and I've seen it happen. I don't know what happened to the public. I mean, that wasn't a public. The public prosecutor. I tried to talk to her. Now I said, could we discuss this maybe in the judge's chambers or somewhere? And she just looked at me and says, more or less, no way. I said, okay. And when we got up there, I did the so-called 4 cornerstones, and then at the end of it, I said, and this shouldn't even be in court. And boy, she stepped right in the shit. She says, well, it already is. Didn't rebut one thing I said. And when I said it shouldn't even be in court, she said, well, it already is. You know how dishonorable that was for her to say that?
She might as well have just raspberried you across the courtroom.
Yeah.
Like a little kid.
The point of the matter is, she's supposed to be an officer and bring respect to that court, and she didn't rebut the point that there was a controversy. I pointed out there wasn't one. She didn't say there was. She just said, well, it's in court, so what are you going to do about it? Well, the judge is going to tell you what he's going to do about it.
I'm not going to do nothing. I might give some first-hand testimony, and that's about it.
You're just a witness.
They're pretty harsh about the witness tampering. You can't be messing with a witness before, during, or after they give testimony.
Exactly. They'll protect you, but you better be acting like one. None of this bullshit saying I'm a witness. You might say I believe I'm a witness, here to help settle this matter, and then act like one. But you go telling them, well, I'm a witness.
I'm a witness here.
You go telling them I'm a witness and you got to protect me. You know what they're going to do to you.
Don't tell them nothing, Batman don't tell Alfred how to do his job.
There you go. You got that right.
I think he did once, and Alfred got annoyed with him.
Yeah.
Put Batman in his place.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some good dialogue in them Batman movies.
Yeah, I just finally watched the more recent two of them. I actually got like 40 minutes to get, or 30 minutes to get through on the Heath Ledger one.
Yeah.
But I'd like to go pick up the one with the Penguin. I was listening to the call with King Free today on the way home from work with the Penguin claiming the birth certificate. When he got it, he was mad at everybody.
I gotta watch that again too. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was the old Michael Keaton one.
Yeah, Danny DeVito. I think he just got a star on the.
Oh, I thought he would have had one.
I know he just got one. I got a brain fart. What's his name? Played that. I just said it.
Michael Keaton was Batman.
Michael Keaton, the guy who played the Penguin. I'm sorry.
Oh, yeah, Danny DeVito played the Penguin.
Yeah, he just got I just heard him mention him for something on the news. But yeah, more or less, let's see what happens. Maybe I'll go for a call next week. It looks like it was well, we got a few people here.
Yeah, I mean, you want to put them up, I'm game. You
Well,
know, I'm going through this. I found it funny. He actually scheduled the call, and I got that stuff in the mail just today, back from the IRS center.
Interesting.
Yeah, big fat yes. And you know what was funny too? The payment coupon, the blank that I submitted with the birth certificate, it was for $6,700. He put the whole shebang for all the years. Please pay $18,000. So I got a lot of questions. Like, what does yes mean? Does yes mean I was correct, or does yes mean you got some evidence? And how can I pay? No, there's a lot of questions.
You could go that route, or just stay on the basic ones. You know, where's the?
Or what? Go that route, or what?
Or just stay on the basic ones. Where's the controversy? I mean, what led you to believe?
I mean, I'm actually I like what Nightwing's doing with the birth certificate. You know, so I'd like to help find out what goes on down that avenue. You know, it seems pretty reasonable to me.
Yeah, like I say, I don't see any harm in it giving them the paperwork and stuff.
Well, I mean, that paperwork, you know, because I'm starting to look at the birth certificate today. I had an idea. You know, it's the only thing issued to you, like a rifle in the Army. And you can't just go do whatever you want with a rifle. I got close friends. They would go on a practice patrol. You're counting the number of bullets you have, and everything's returned. You're not allowed any leeway with that weapon. You do what you're told with it. And if you use it the wrong way, which it appears we've been using that issue you see the wrong way, or, you know, I don't want to say we, but whatever.
General, right.
You get in trouble, man. You're not using your rifle correctly. And not to make it a weapon of war, because you're going to peace, but
I look
it's
at
just
it
a concept.
Right. I look at it like a gift certificate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ticket to
But you want to claim ownership of it. In other words, you want to pay for everything. Well, then that's why people pay taxes and stuff. But if you own nothing, like I say, it sound like a broken record here, but how can you pay a tax if you own nothing? You know? If people can get their mind around that, but they think they own something. They think the tax, you know, they're paying something, so therefore they must own it.
Yeah, that's what I mean, though. People need to realize you ain't really paying nothing. And, I mean, if you get semi-exclusive use of something, what do you care?
Yeah.
You know?
Like I tell people, I remember Teddy Kennedy going through the trials with his nephew there. And they said on the news, Teddy Kennedy claims he don't even own the shirt on his back, as far as I know. What's that?
I hear a lot of these so-called rich guys, they claim control everything and own nothing.
There you go. What are we not getting here?
Yeah. But I don't know, the way the boot camps go with the trusts, man. I mean, I don't know, like I could see some of it, but right away with the liens is where I parted ways with that type of stuff. You know, that's too much claiming stuff and claiming to be this and directing that. Again, you know, the servants, again, with Nightwing, the servants are the servants with regard to the usufructuary duties of the state, not to you, the public at large, you know. I think maybe a lot of people have the meaning of public wrong.
Well,
you know.
I think a lot of people fail to see that the trust is all there. The thing of it is, do you trust the government so-called employees, to do the proper thing? See? It's already, there's a trust there. And when you go starting your own trust, I say, well, you're claiming ownership. You're meddling with the name.
Right.
And
well, like I said, I think I told you once before, I'm going to play around a little bit with the IRS for the so-called 2010, and send in a couple of their papers and see where it goes from there. Because even though I know it's meddling, I think it's just the right amount of meddling, which I think sometimes is okay.
Well,
but I don't want to make a habit of it.
The thing is, give them what they need to settle the account. Well,
yeah.
Is there a difference between using the name and claiming ownership of the name? And if you don't know the answer to that question, could you please ask your supervisor? You know?
Right. That's what today I sat down and started really thinking of some questions that I want to start asking. Like, the Secretary of the Treasury and stuff like that. I mean, what could it hurt to go just ask questions? And I don't even need a face-to-face meeting to ask questions,
Yeah, well, the first-hand testimony, I believe, is necessary before the proper agent. Like with Boris. He's got an agent.
I agree.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. But other than that, paperwork, with the questions on it, and sooner or later you'll get a meeting with one of the agents. And I believe...
Yeah, and I don't even mean questions pertinent to some kind of pressing matter I have, but, more toward the background information for us to wrap our heads around this stuff, and get a better understanding of how the nuts and bolts are going together.
Right. Because I believe I'm incompetent to handle government affairs. I mean, who created the birth certificate? And why? Was it to indemnify or to identify? That's really the question.
Yeah.
I believe it was to indemnify. Could I be mistaken?
Well, especially when it... Yeah, right. That's what I'm saying. Like, hey, I believe that this is so. If it's not, can you please help me stop having these wrong-headed opinions about things?
Well, how can I use this name honorably without bringing harm to the public?
Right, and Nightwing, from what I remember, when he said to the agent, well, how do I operate this name and stay in honor with you people, he actually said, well, that makes things a little different.
There you go.
Like, easier to deal with. Yeah.
See? Hey, you're a little child, man. Help me here. I want to do the right thing. I want to do the right thing, Daddy. I'm tired of getting my ass whipped, I'll tell you.
Yeah, I feel bad when I do the wrong thing. Yeah, I do. I like helping people. Helping people is cool. It's fun.
Yeah, and I believe what you put out, you'll get back. Just patience. That's one thing with, Boris. One time I think he was getting a little impatient, but I'm glad. I think
he leads me to believe he's impatient with the Skype chat or the boot camp group, man. He left today.
I don't even bother time anymore.
Yeah, I see it pop on now and again. I copied down the chats he had in a separate file, so I could go back over the nuggets he left. But I have a feeling once I read that through, it's just going to be him saying the same thing over and over again shortly up until he left the group today.
They're getting no
I was
audio
sad.
on computers.
What was some about audio?
Yeah. Is that anybody else? Any of you guys hearing me on the computers? Let me type that in. S30. Oh, you can. Okay, maybe it's a problem. Thank you. I was wondering if it was a problem here. Okay.
Anybody else got anything?
Yeah.
It's interested to hear stuff, man.
I'd like to get some of guys like David Clarence or the Constitution man or the Tax man. I like to get them to come on here. I'd love talking with them guys.
Yeah, I'd like to see you talk to. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
regarding the England riots, what do you think it's the solution? It's a problem of claim again, of ownership.
Yeah, it's a bunch of people.
It's good.
It's a bunch of people protesting. They're at war. When everything's paid for. Just people need to grow up.
We ask amiss, so we have not.
They're claiming ownership.
Well, that too. Yeah, I was talking to a close friend. Another close friend of ours. The family is going through some strife, and I looked at what's going on, and I'm like, man, it's every problem, and they're allegedly numerous, goes right back to claiming ownership and unforgiveness.
Yeah.
That's it.
The only remedy, I believe, on which relief can be granted is forgiveness. And the courts always you fail to state a claim on which relief can be granted.
Yeah.
You're laying claim on your brother, and you're in dishonor. You're claiming the name on top of it. And now, people put a counterclaim on the claim they put in, and then they fail to state the only way remedy can truly be granted is, well, I forgive them. Will they forgive me? And
yeah.
I could use some stuff. Could you guys help me get, back what I had here to live? But they're not a remedy. They're asking
well, that's the use.
They're asking for debt notes. They want to sue them.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's what I mean. You gave debt for something, and then you think you own it.
Yeah. I guess 13, you might be right. He just put on constitutional man. Let's see, David Clarence, Rod Class, Angel Stark, Tim Turner, John Stewart, Maria, Army, wouldn't come on this call. I don't know if they would or not. I have yet to ask, but you may be right. I know I talked with Rod Class once, and I figured I'd go there. He wanted the proof. I tried to tell him, what I thought here, like I do now. And he says, well, I got to have it on white paper with black ink. Okay. I tried to tell him I didn't have any paperwork. I didn't use any. I didn't need any. Gotta have it. Okay. I call them wooden idols, if you ask me.
Yep, and from what I understand, they eventually smashed through the wooden idols, and your pie hole is your paperwork.
Yeah, well, it's first witness against you, or
to
help settle the matter. One or the other, it depends what comes out of that pie hole.
Yeah, Nightwing mentioned about the courtroom scene in The Dark Knight. The guy goes, "Oh yeah, I'm the brains of this whole outfit. The little, is going to take the fall for the boss." Well, we have a signed affidavit. Yeah, fat lot of good. What are you so upset about? Because the guy's denying it on the stand.
It's all hearsay.
Yeah.
Finally revealed there's fraud. Why are you accusing your brother, Guest 13?
Yep, that's another thing going on in the boot camp is accusations, man. A lot of accusations. Not everybody, but
get them. I mean, they'll be a witness to the fraud themselves if you ask them the question. That's why I'd love to get them on the calls, because like that little clip I played, that guy started to get all bent out of shape right off, started accusing me of not listening to him.
yeah.
Could it be he wasn't listening to me? It was, you see? Did I accuse him of anything?
Well, like I say, many people, and I remember doing it, and sometimes I still need to correct myself if it hits particularly close to home. But the question, you in your mind turn it into an accusation. Because right away, well, why would they be asking me that unless I was acting that way? And go into that defensive mode, which we need to get over, and go, hey, yeah, the ego, yeah.
You watched Revolver, I take it, right?
Yeah, I finally did, yeah. It was good.
I thought that if you pay attention to the dialogue in that, I thought it was excellent.
I still want to know what the $12 bill is about. I don't know what the 12.
Could it be the 12 disciples, the 12 zodiac signs? You know.
Okay, I wondered about the disciples.
Could it be that's what we worship? You know, ourselves. The 12. We're made of 13, I believe, in a sense. We got all the 12 disciples' attitudes and emotions within us. Some more profound than the others. And the Christos is what we do, the ego and listening to the heart. You see, it's the 13th floor. That make any sense? That's kind of way I look at it.
I think you could easily cover the vast range of personality types with 12 variables.
Yeah. And we all got a little bit of it, I believe it is, one way or the other. It makes us all different, you know?
Yeah, I thought about it one time, like, well, if you're the creation and you want to experience everything that you created, what would make more sense than to create billions or trillions of little, quote-unquote, you know, probes, souls, entities, to go out and live lives and evolve and do all this shit and, you know, and it's all you know, if you were the all. I can't think of a more efficient way to explore the creation.
Yeah, exactly. It's an experience. I want to say something to guest 13 here. He's chatting in. Now think about this. You chatted in here, I believe. Rod Class is a dumbass so-called patriot loser. Could you say, could it be Rod Class is a dumbass so-called patriot loser? You know?
That would be better, although still kind of rude.
Well, it is, but, you know, did you guys ever watch Man of the Year?
No.
Well, it was with Robin Williams. I think you'd get a kick out of it if you ever watch it, but he became president for a short time. The thing was, they brought up a thing, one politician wanted to ask another politician if he screwed animals or something like that. And his advisor says, you got no evidence of that. Why would you ask that? He says, I want to just hear him deny it. You know?
Yeah.
So you call them the names. What's that make you? You calling people names, could that make you a dumbass so-called patriot loser? Huh? You ever heard of it?
Fart joke. Yeah. Whoever smelt it, dealt it.
Yeah, whatever you say bounces off of me, sticks onto you. You know?
That's another gem from Nightwing. It all boils down to a fart joke.
Yeah, here you go. Keep it simple.
You claiming you smell a fart? Well, pay up.
Anybody else out there wants to jump in this little conversation? It'd be a problem having a show. Gotta have people participate in something like this, or.
Yeah, because I'm kind of boring. I only have this issue going on until. Well, I can't wait. I need to put an addition on the place I'm using because I got a kid due in January. So.
A kid?
Yeah. Well, a child, not a baby goat.
I had a pet goat. We used to just tie him out in the yard.
Yes. I have a so-called child coming in January.
Good to hear.
So that's definitely a need. I don't even want a big addition. Just enough for, a master bedroom.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that'll be fun dealing with that. I think I'm going to play nice with the bank, and unless I figure out something better or get the status of the name corrected, I'm not going to mess with them until I get that all going and done.
Just, listen
and
to
then
the
I'll
heart.
start asking them questions. Yeah.
Listen to the heart. See where it goes.
Yeah, as exciting as this is, and as much as I want to dive right into it, I do have certain obligations. Yeah, I don't want to be foolish about it.
I try to
Lord
warn
knows
people.
I've been foolish about enough.
Exactly. I try to warn people. You go in there and I've heard them say I got it, and then they'll go in there and I got thrown in for contempt, or I got this and that, and I said, well, what you do? They start telling me what they did, and I says, yeah, you did it. You got what you asked for. Some don't like it.
Contempt, you better apologize. The judge says contempt.
Judge, please forgive me if I offended you. Well, he says, you're in contempt. Who are you talking about, Judge? You talking about me? Oh, Judge, please forgive me if I offended you.
Yeah.
What did
like
I
the
say?
shot clock in basketball resets that shit.
Yeah. Time out.
Yeah. But I don't know if the one dude's still on. He was asking like how anyone got into it. I mean, me personally, I came from a whole I don't know how different, but I got all into the conspiracy type stuff and this, that, and the other thing, and how the Fed was screwing that whole line of stuff from I don't know, maybe 21 on, so almost 14 years.
Yep.
And then finally, I was coming. But in progression, I found the creditors and commerce stuff, which I found a lot of good stuff in there. But they're claiming ownership of stuff and slapping liens on people and affidavits and negative averment and paperwork out the yin-yang.
Yep.
So that never really hit quite home. And then Jordan Maxwell from a guy, this dude Freeman, he's kind of like a hippie dude that researches Masonic stuff, and he's got some really good information on like the goddess worship and stuff that goes on and statues. You ever check out Freeman? He's cool. And what I like about him is he's already coming from, he knows he don't own nothing, and he's already just trying to help people and try to find non-violent ways to get what we need, or what people feel they need. So he's pretty cool. And then I found Jordan Maxwell and like Project Camelot and the Disclosure Project and all this crap.
Yeah.
And Jordan Maxwell was the one that introduced the concept to me of the birth certificate and the birth canal and the waters of your mother's womb, and it's like naming a ship and the length and the weight.
Yeah. I've been down that road. It's funny.
Okay.
Everybody you mentions, man, I was down that road too. Yeah.
Cool, man. Cool. Well, so yeah, I guess and then that eventually, creditors and commerce came after Jordan Maxwell. But there was a guy, I want to say Sam something. I don't think it's Sam Davis, but he was he was a chunky, white-haired fellow, and they used to do mock courtroom things on YouTube where trying not to get in. Kennedy, was it?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Oh, maybe. It could have been. I can't remember. I'm going to go and try to find those videos maybe tomorrow and see, because there was some good nuggets in there, how to deal with the court. And, they didn't quite have it, I don't think. But
well, it's where the heart is, I believe more. I believe it's where the heart is more than anything. Are you listening to it? Like Boris likes to say, you don't got to get it perfect. You just got to get it. And if I believe if you're truly going in there in honor and wanting the best for everybody, that judge is going to know it.
I'm going to have faith that that's so for now, until I find out.
The way I kind of see it, because some of the shit I've done in the courtroom, it's a wonder I haven't gotten more. I think I have only gotten one contempt, and that judge didn't know what he did. He died about 30 days after. That's when I was serving papers. He died about 30 days after I served papers on him. I'm not sure what happened to him. They didn't quite say why he died. But he gave me contempt of court for remaining silent after he told me to shut up.
Right.
You listen to some snotty little ass lawyer there.
Told you were the name to shut up.
Well, he said you shut up. I didn't know what I knew today. This when I was just...
Right.
This I first started really getting into it when I started deciding I was going to homeschool the children and not send them to public schools. And I got
Well,
arrested.
you were still trying to get the light bulb right.
Yeah. But he told me shut up, or I'll give you contempt, because I was hammering him with questions. And then he started talking, but he didn't tell me I could talk again, so I just stayed mute.
Right. Yeah.
I'd give contempt of court for that, and he did. But other than that, I'm surprised I never got. The more I think about it, I never got contempt of court again. Real close.
Yeah.
Had the bailiffs coming my way a couple of times. Skype's still having problems. Somebody said the chat locked up, but then he got a couple more in there.
Greetings, Batman.
Greetings.
Shalom.
I guess we're all sitting here chewing the so-called fat.
Amen. Well, that's fine. I just wanted to say thank you. I've been listening quietly to the phone call chat so far. They call me Gavar.
Good bar?
Gavar, yeah. I just wanted to say thank you, and you and Boris have changed my entire, I guess you could say, view of life, view of everything.
I do that. Did I give you some rose-colored glasses or something I forgot about?
Yeah, something like that. Well, I went down like that gentleman was speaking before. I didn't catch your name, sorry, or whatever name you're using. He sounds like he's from the Northeast, which is where I'm from. But I went down the whole route that he went down, all that stuff, the Patriot rabbit hole, the Tim Turner crap, and the Brandon Adams and Gordon Hall and all that stuff. And it's all useful knowledge. It runs real well in the background. It's useful to know, as I'm sure you appreciate. But your approach, and I know you don't claim ownership of it, is so simple. They really can't go anywhere. There's no fight. You're not fighting. It's that simple, like you always say.
Yeah.
So thank you so much.
Well, I just thanks the Holy Bible. That's where it finally dawned on me.
Amen.
I just did what allegedly Christ did, and I just rewording it a little bit. I hope it's not a sin.
Amen. Totally.
We all know this. We just got to grow up. Like somebody mentioned before, we don't know this. And I says, what do you mean we don't know this? Now, think back when you were like 2, 3, 4 years old, if you can. What was you doing, Mommy and Daddy?
Right.
The sky blue. Why'd you got to get a license? Why? You were asking questions. What happened? Someday, that's what I used to say before, too. I want to know when I went from master and became sir. I want to know where I got demoted.
Amen.
Remember? The children were always called masters. The boys, masters of the house. When did you become a sir? I guess when you admit to it, huh?
The ownership of it,
yeah.
Exactly. Not that I'm disappointed it's just you, Batman, but I was hoping Boris would be chiming in. No plans to have him come on the line. I'm anxious to hear what he's up to.
I should have noticed him. I thought he knew about it. I sent emails out to, but I don't know what he's up to. I had to Skype him. I should have done it sooner.
I'd be curious to see what his latest meetings with his forensics guy are amounting to. I've actually been studying a lot of his material. There's some postings on YouTube that are not, as far as I know, on talkshoe, having to do with the international implications, the Hague, Lieber Code, Geneva Convention and noticing them, peaceful inhabitant, apostille, birth certificate, a step information like that.
Yeah.
Curious to see where he went with that, what happened, and if it had any effect.
I heard he talked with the agent, and allegedly everything's supposed to be being taken care of.
Excellent.
Yeah, he also told me he had someone, I think at the Attorney General's office, go silent and like pass it on upstairs when he mentioned the usufruct.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We just gotta walk the walk, man. You gotta show them you're a peaceful inhabitant. They need to come to that conclusion on their own.
You'll be known by your fruits. Exactly.
Yeah, but I wonder after the Hague Convention, if a person could just sign on to it, and then they say that the Hague will let the other countries that are signatory know.
It's ours, what it says.
Yeah, but I don't see a definition for who a signatory power could be. Why can't I be one?
Exactly.
Well, the thing of it is, I believe it comes down to if you're doing it and acting right and doing the walk, there's agents out there that's going to know, and they're going to put you on the side of the illuminated ones. Okay? And you'll know when. But you think it's going to happen overnight?
Oh,
I doubt it. We got a lot of learning to do. I still believe I got a lot of learning to do. You know, because when you become an illuminated one, the government, so-called government, the powers that be, which I believe are us, we decide whether we're an honor or dishonor by every action we take. I believe that's the only thing we really have control over is our response to one another. But I believe when the people that are out there, the watchers, whatever you want to call them, recognize you as truly an honorable individual, they will do the proper thing to set the record straight.
No.
I believe it may have already happened with the name I've been known to use because of some things that happen the way I've been treated lately.
Right.
But they're going to know it by an agent's going to need to give testimony for you. You know, and the only way he's going to get that is by getting first-hand knowledge from you or seeing or studying the case. You know.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I was wondering just this week is if national debts are a measure of the dishonor of the people of the nation.
Absolutely.
That's what I'd say, yeah.
Yeah.
People laying claim on their brothers, it's at war. It could go away overnight if people just realize that, what are we doing to one another?
Forgive me. Yeah.
It's all an illusion.
Yeah.
They'll tell you there's no money, man, a lot of these people on these talkshoes, but they're pissed off as hell because they ain't getting their so-called fair share of it.
Right.
I mean, come on, give me a break, people.
They're still selling that tape books and stuff.
I've heard a saying, I either want there to be less corruption or I want more of a chance to participate in it.
Yeah.
Good.
There you go. Yeah. That's about what it is. I can wish all I want, but I wish people just realize it's just claiming the name that causes most people all the problem. That's all they need is you claim that name.
Yeah.
All the evidence they need and jurisdiction on top of it. I don't give a shit about any other paperwork you put in there. You claiming a name, you want to claim copyright, you claim anything. You the bill, and you're going to get it. I believe it. The way it's designed.
Yeah, it took me 3 calls to a debt collector today to find out they were a debt collector and what they were after, because they did not want to talk to it because they wanted the name, and they wouldn't leave a message or anything. So I called the number back, and it just goes right to this call is being monitored.
Yeah, we have a login data set. Yeah, I'll take that.
And they, is this so and so? And I says,
Of course you can fucking have it, but yeah. So it's 5:44.
Wait about it.
Someone needs to mute out.
Try to find out who it is.
Sometimes at least not talking. That's the worst. Because people are like looking at me and talking, and then they're like, I don't know what the fuck.
There, I think I got it. All right, you guys.
Sounds like it.
If you can hear me, you got to
Yep.
star 8 if you want to come back in. That's 37. Or, well, you won't know you're on the phone. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I forgot where I was at.
It's out of the debt collection agency. The 3 times you called up.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Yeah, they wanted the name, and I'm just like, well, what is this regarding? And they didn't want to talk. I got hung up on. I have no time to play games. And before I could even get out, what evidence you have on playing games, they just hung up. The second lady told me I can see why the first lady hung up on you and hung up on me. And then the third...
Oh, go ahead then. I was just going to say way around that is just say, well, allegedly, I've been known to use the name.
Yeah, I thought about that. And then the third time, she says, well, we need to identify. And I says, how can you possibly identify who is on the other end of this line? I says, number one. And number two, how do you know I'm not the authorized agent of the name to handle the affairs, and I need to know what this is regarding, and then maybe I can put you in touch with the name. And she says, well, the name can call us back at this number. We will be here to... I says, well, who is we? Well, NRA Recovery. Thank you very much. I find out they're a debt collector. I call back. Yeah, I'm the name. Okay, it's for a water bill. I says, yeah, I disputed it with the company, whatever. It sounds like a personal problem on their part, so... But I'll handle that. That's another thing I can look into.
Well, I'd be glad to pay it. The thing of it
is,
it's still a corporation, something that can't testify. It's an illusion. I'd be glad to pay you.
Put NRA on the phone. Let me see if I can work out a deal with him.
Yeah. Good luck. Well, I represent him. Oh, you're prepared to accept full liability for any actions taken? Watch them choke up. They ain't going to go to court with or anything. Well, what more can I do to help you settle this account? Their attorneys and the higher-ups will know what to do with it. They'll zero the books, and they'll move on. I'm telling you, this shit works, man. It's just stay on point and love them. Give them what they need to do the job.
Yep.
That's the way I take it.
Yeah, it's just working up that ladder is all.
Because this authorized representative and all that shit's meddling, if you ask me. And executive letter.
Just over the phone like that, though? I wouldn't be in court like I'm the authorized representative.
Right. Well, no, it kind of was a question. No, I didn't see a problem with it, but I'm saying going into court claiming you're to be in that.
Yeah, I wouldn't advocate that, no.
That's
this
to
is...
me, you're meddling. They could bite you, if you ask me.
Yeah, I could see that. Who's a debt collector, though? They don't concern me, really.
There's just agents for an artificial entity.
Mm-hmm.
How can
that was dumb enough to go and buy a debt, allegedly buy.
Well, maybe that's what it appears to be, or maybe it's they're Robin Hoods too. Maybe they're working with the feds, the Federal Reserve, to help balance the books, trying to find out where all them Federal Reserve notes are. See, when people there's no money to go around, it's because people are hoarding it 9 times out of 10.
Yeah.
That's why there's a depression. People are doing it to themselves. Hell, I use it.
Yeah, what did Bush say at the time? We had a liquidity crisis because people were hoarding their money.
Yeah.
Alleged money, I should say.
There's damming. Yeah, if you ask me, that's the same as damming up the river and not letting any down for your brothers and sisters. I mean, who do you think you are? You're the debt collector, and now you want to argue with these people? That's why lawyers... my opinion on when lawyers, people say, oh, I put in the paperwork, they just ignore it. Well, yeah, you're laying claim to the name. You're a debt collector. What do they say about debt collectors? You can tell them to go fuck off, man. Stop calling here. Want me to call the authorities? Huh? Well, what do you think, them lawyers don't know any better?
We actually had the secretary at the place I work. She had some debt collect, like a month and a half, they were calling her every day. looking for her. And they were annoying me after a while just from them calling. So finally one day I picked up the phone and I said, there's no one here by that name. I said, you need to stop calling this number. And I've never heard from them again.
There you go.
And that wasn't even anything. The girl doesn't even know I did it.
All they need to know. Once they've been told not to call anymore, man, it's
Yeah.
The authorities catch wind of it, they're going to go rattle whoever's calling cage. Because most of them people haven't got a clue what we're talking about, in my opinion, anyway.
Yeah. I remember Nightwing saying, never mind a short leash, they got him on a thin thread suspended over a chasm.
Yeah.
With that collectors.
Yeah, but the people don't realize it by claiming the name. They're the debt collector.
Right. They put the, on the same footing.
And you hear them piss and moan about everybody else. Like, I'll tell you that, Maria, I'll tell you, she just, listening to her sometimes is freaking, like, dragging nails down a freaking chalkboard. I mean, I like to know how many times she went in court and acts the way she does.
Yeah, I don't know.
I see it can get away with it to an extent, but I'll tell you something. Most of these people are talking about charges being dismissed. And I don't know, I could be mistaken, but I say they'd like to get all these charges in escrow, and then one day they're just going to say, here, how smart are you now? We got all these charges that's been dismissed. What do you got to say about these? Because you want them discharged. If they're discharged, it means the account's been settled. They could zero the books. There's no controversy concerning the name. But if it's in a dismissal, from what I understand, it's an escrow. Somebody's accountable for it because there's still a controversy concerning the name. Somebody's claiming something somewhere. That's why it's an escrow.
So right? Is there any such thing as payment?
Well, can it pay? Everything's here to you.
Right.
How can that concept of payment is accusing your brother, if you ask me.
Well, no, I thought maybe there was some kind of lawful money that's not, I don't know, in general circulation.
It's all fraud. I mean, I shouldn't say a fraud. It's all illusion.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
it's all a big test, right?
Even gold, silver, for instance. What really difference is if it's in coin is it than a piece of paper?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, to me, you can't eat it.
It's all what somebody will do for it at the moment. That's all it comes down to.
Believe me, if there ain't much to eat, they ain't gonna care.
There you go. Chew on that silver dollar for a while.
Yeah, have at it. You might want to wipe with your silver certificates.
Either way, you know. It's just, look at Robin Hood, man. That movie, the old Earl Flynn movie. It said it all right in there, man. He was the IRS, man. That's all he was. He was making sure. At the time, they were using gold and silver, I guess, for currency to keep commerce going, so people could do things for one another. Because if somebody, it was a form of trade off, and people were hoarding it, and there was a lack of gold and silver to go around, so people could do things. So
that's
picture.
That's why I can see the whole elastic fiat currency as not necessarily such an evil thing.
No, it's giving people what they want. People need to
you couldn't have accomplished a lot of stuff without, it's the currency, the means to get shit done, until we learn better to just,
I hear tell there's people out there, well, I kind of do it myself. I just do things, and things come to me. They just come to me. Good deals. Like I just picked up a 50-inch TV, nice big flat screen a couple of weeks back now, with a nice stand and everything for 300 Federal Reserve notes. He wanted that. I says, hey, I don't need these, but I sure like to watch that TV.
Yeah.
And beats the big old boob tube I used to have. Hey, it comes to you.
Yeah, one of those would be nice. That'd be an engineering project, though, to put it where I would need to put it.
Just using it. The more you stay in honor and things, you find what you want just falls in your lap. you usually always have what you need.
Yeah.
All good. Yeah. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with the Social Security number if you ask me.
Nope.
If you're using it. But if it's your Social Security number, well, there's an issue now you've got with somebody there. You're laying claim. Yes, me. I just saw that on the chat board.
Yeah, I can't put the chat up. I get that audio loop. So I had to come in through the Skype. I can't get the talkshoe working properly.
If you got a PIN number, it'll come right up with the chat, and that way it won't.
Maybe I could then, yeah. And this is the older machine that I leave at the house, you know, the other one that I have with me usually. The newer one, I can't get it going at all. Can't even get the chat up. Skype works okay on it.
That's all right.
Yeah, it's at Windows 7, I believe, and the IE9.
No, that's Vista on that other one. I don't have anything with Windows 7. Well, I got a couple laptops with Windows 7 on them, but or one, I believe. But I hardly use it.
That's all I run off of is the two laptops. Although I would like one of them big Alienware desktops, man, with the liquid cooling that lights up. They're pretty neat.
Yeah. Well, we got 2 hours in, boys and girls. Maybe we'll give this a shot next week. What do you think?
Yeah, sounds good. I gotta go. I gotta get up for work in the morning, so well, it's good talking with you guys.
I think I'll let somebody wants to jump in there and talk. I can unmute Scott. I just unmuted there. Everybody's unmuted. Anybody want to talk any longer about anything or?
I just want to make a comment. In my studies, I came across a interesting document issued by the Office of Inspector General regarding birth certificates.
Yeah.
It's a report that came out in 2000. It's actually from the Office of Inspector General, Washington, D.C., Department of Health and Human Services. And they make a number of interesting statements. I just wanted to share, and if you feel it relevant, I can email it to you and make it available to everybody else.
Sure.
They basically state on here in this report that it's a report that's entitled Birth Certificate Fraud. And the purpose of the study was to determine what's causing the fraud and can they do anything to prevent it. But in the meanwhile, they make some interesting comments about what a birth certificate actually is. And I want to read you from the report. That's right here in paragraph 1. It says, while originally intended for the sole purpose of birth registration, birth certificates are now used extensively for employment purposes and to obtain benefits or obtain other documents used for identification. And it goes on to say later on, however, a certified copy of a birth certificate is proof only that a birth occurred and it was recorded. However, agencies and organizations that use birth certificates as proof of identification for employment purposes to obtain benefits or other documents, an example given, driver's licenses, Social Security cards, and passports, and to assist them in determining eligibility for public assistance and other benefits, may have concerns with how easily a certified copy of a birth certificate can be obtained. And it says, you can even purchase a birth certificate without identification from some offices around the country.
Yeah, that's how I got the replacements.
Interesting. And then it goes on to say, flat out conclusions. Line number 1 on the paragraph conclusions, it says, birth certificates alone do not provide conclusive or reliable proof of identity. Proof right there that Boris is right. Batman's right. They're not identities.
Oh, yeah.
The thing the thing of it is, does anything really identify anyone? Like the body you're using. Does it really identify the spirit that's using the body at the moment?
They go on to say, thus it's inherently illogical to require somebody to prove their identity using potentially fraudulent identity documents spawned by a potentially false birth certificate in order to obtain a birth certificate. Further, it would be rational to design the certificates themselves to make them more reliable in and of themselves. So therefore, basically, they're saying they're not reliable for identification, and we can never make them reliable. The primary purpose, it says, for which they were created was to document and to record a birth. Period.
Up on there. The main way I look at it is it's there to use, and I believe you probably don't even need all that crap if you could just get in touch with agent and you realize that you're interested in having it.
Well, I can tell you, Dave in the Scranton office of the IRS begs to differ.
What was that?
I says I can tell you that Dave in the Scranton office of the IRS begs to differ.
Oh, you're asking the wrong questions.
Possibly, yes, but he leads me to believe.
Thing of it is the Social Security number. You know, they have two categories: the ones who claim ownership of the number and the ones who are using it.
Yeah.
Once they know the difference, they treat you differently. My friend, in fact, a mentor. He's on one of the first couple calls. He got out of the system because he used to believe in all that crap. And now that he's retired, he went back and filed, and he went in there, and more or less he's using the Social Security number now.
Right.
And they've been over backwards for him when he went in there using it.
That was the guy that wrote on the paper bag to the judge. It was, right down here how I can pay you.
Yeah, or something like that. You see?
Hey, sorry for butting in. Hey, could I get that document emailed to me? Whoever had that document?
Just put the your email address in the chat.
Damn, I got kicked out of the cafe I was hanging at. I can't put it in there. Could you give me yours and I'll email you later?
Yeah, man. It's real easy.
Okay.
Peaceful Inhabitant. At Last Days Music with a Z. It's LASTDAYZ music.com.
Okay, cool. Well, I'll email you a little later for that.
Thank you.
Guess 5. Who's looking into your DNA? DNA, you know, that's another joke. DNA is non-conclusive. From what I gather. And the only way it's conclusive is if you say, yeah, that's my DNA. I think it's only like 80 or 90%, and I heard some of the stuff on it, and I believe it to be true, anyway. AKA, okay, yeah, Eisenhower Military American Medical Association. Okay. How does a AKA American Medical Association do anything? It's our brothers and sisters. So, how are we going to deal with these people? Can I see their double speak? Can you see your double speak? Can't you? How can I do a negative? Could it be people consent to work for the so-called fiction? Could it be people consent to the people that work for the so-called fiction? Could that be the doublespeak? That make any sense, boys and girls? Anybody hear me?
Yeah, it does make total sense. Absolutely.
Okay. I was wondering if I was talking to myself. Sometimes it happens. Self, whatever. But, you know, about it. Break it down. really dealing with? Our brothers and sisters. How are you going to handle it? Like, that episode in jail, you want to get a TB test. I told the nurse there that was going to do it, I'd hold her personally liable. She was touched. I don't care how many cops they had there.
All right, guys. Again, good talking to you. Hope to catch you next week. Have a good night.
I think I'm going to play my little song here, unless there's something more you guys want to talk about. But, yeah, thanks for joining in here. Appreciate it. See what happens next week. And I guess I'm going to play a little clip here and end the recording.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Tune in tomorrow. Same bat time, same bat channel.
You should say.
Batmobile.
Oh.
Let's go. Atomic batteries to power. Turbines to speed. Here, ready to move up.
Well, enough of that, boys and girls. Hope everybody had fun, and till next time, catch y'all later.